Welcome to the Noah Brewer Advice YouTube channel. If you want to get on a call with me and be featured on this channel or in private, the link is in the description. Thank you. All right, bro. Welcome to Noah Brewer Advice. We are going to be discussing life, business, your problems. I know you typed a few questions in there, but before we get into that, can you kind of break down, who are you? What's your history? What are you currently doing right now? And, how I can help.
My name is Randy. I've been in ecom for about 4 years now. I'm trying to start a clothing brand right now, and one thing I do need help with is being able to promote it, get it out there, and to be able to make consistent content for clothing.
Cool. So why a clothing brand? Like how come because I know that you've been like drop shipping brands. I mean, I've known you for a bit of time now.
Yeah.
How come you're doing a clothing brand? Like what's the goal with it? What are you trying to do?
What's the goal with it? The goal with my clothing brand is to, inspire others to say, if you're creative, if you're intelligent, you can be successful. You don't necessarily have to go to school. Nothing against school, but there's other ways to be successful. That's the
Hmm.
message I'm trying to put out there, and just trying to put out some cool designs as well on the clothing.
Right. And it's really interesting because you came to me, asking me like if I could review your designs and all this stuff. And that's like a common, thing that I see with people that have clothing brands and stuff is, they're trying to put out the best designs and stuff. But, at least from my understanding, what makes people want to buy from a brand that has a generic type of product is not actually really the product itself because you're going to be selling like the same product as every other clothing brand out there, right? Shirts, hoodies,
Pretty
pants.
much.
Especially starting out, you're probably not going to have like super unique fabrics and designs and custom like all sorts of crazy stuff. So it's kind of hard to make a design that's good enough to just make sales on its own and just get people want to buy it on its own because first of all, designs are subjective. So what's a good design to you could be a horrible design to another person and vice versa. Um,
Yeah, that's true.
that's just how it is. So, and same thing with like, the shirt that I'm wearing right now, like it says cost on it, it has a fish on it. Like I'm not a fisherman, I don't fish. I don't even know what Costa means. I just bought this shirt because I saw it at the store and it was comfortable and I don't really care what I wear, honestly.
I
Um,
see.
but sometimes, like my boy started a clothing brand called Unemployable like a while ago, and I really, really liked it because it stood for, being unemployable, basically meaning that like you're like a free thinker, you can't be contained, like these types of things. So I bought into the brand Unemployable because I loved the message. I loved what it stood for. I stood for what the brand stood for. Um, and the guy that ran it, lived it. Like that was his life, business is his life. And I just resonated it with that on that level. So what I would say is your designs were good, first of all.
I
And I
appreciate it.
really, I really, really like, I told you what I liked about them. I'm not going to bring it up on this call because I don't want people finding your brand unless you want them finding your brand.
Not yet, not yet.
All right. So yeah, I told you what I liked about it, how you can make it unique and stuff. So we'll just move on from the design aspect. What is the messaging? Like, what is the part where, somebody like me is going to look at your brand image or your brand story and be like, oh shit, I really resonate with what this brand stands for and I want to support them and spread this message. Like, what is that thing for you?
I guess pretty much like, what I already said. Well, I guess first off, it resonates with me because, school isn't really my thing. And I looked at it like I got to do business or I don't have anything else. Um, and I believe nowadays a lot of people are starting to think that way too. So it doesn't only resonate with me alone. I believe it will resonate with a lot of people as well.
Hmm.
So I'm just trying to get that message out there.
Yeah, that's true. So the whole message is like, fuck the conveyor belt,
Yeah,
you
pretty much.
take your own path type of thing.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, how I said, it stands for creativity and intelligence. Like, let me give some examples, right? Let's say you're trying to do ecom now. I believe ecom right now it's really like a creative game for like creatives, ads. You got to be creative with it. Or if you want to do YouTube or if you want to be some type of content creator, you got to be creative in some type of way. And the intelligence part, I believe what makes somebody intelligent is not necessarily defined by the degrees that you have, but somebody that can take any situation that they're in and make something of it. Like if you take somebody that's, I don't know, in the woods or something like that, he or she may not have any school education, but they can make tools, they can make a tent, and they can survive type thing. I look at that as intelligent. Yeah, so that's pretty much what it stands for that way.
Cool. And what is the name of the brand as well?
Oh, it's
And what does that mean?
the word itself is completely made up. It doesn't have any like meaning in any language, so uh I just gave it a meaning.
And do you have a website yet?
I do, but there's no content on there yet. I'm still in the process of getting content.
Okay. Are you married to that name?
I would say so.
Okay.
Like, what do you mean by married?
Like you're opposed to like switching it and changing it to something
Oh
else.
yeah, yeah, no, that's it. That's it. It's locked
Okay.
in.
All right, that's fine. Because the only thing that I would say is like I would highly recommend because remember the brand I told you, Unemployable?
Yeah.
The name spoke for itself. So like when it was on the shirt, like the Unemployable logo was on the shirt, it was like very obvious what it meant. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So if you're gonna come up with a name that like doesn't have a meaning and nobody's gonna know what it means when they see it, then you should have imagery and graphics that display that and make it fairly obvious. Because, one of the things I loved about Unemployable, and I'll keep using them as an example, but there's a few others. But one of the ones that I loved about them was that I could wear it and people would see me wearing it and immediately know, kind of like what I'm about,
Yeah, that makes sense.
right? Like they would see, like I would go into like a grocery store, right? And they'd see Unemployable, they'd be like, "Ha, that's funny," you know, what do you own a business or something like that? And they'll like, kind of like it was very obvious what it stood for.
I see. Okay, I'll definitely take that into consideration with the designs.
Yeah, either do it with and I like the octopus. I like the thing that you did there because the octopus has meaning.
Hmm.
And I think a couple of your other designs like, had like a path or something like you could do things in the messaging to make it very obvious what it stands for.
Yeah.
So that's good. So you have your brands, your messaging, it's very clear like who's the type of person that's going to buy this, what does the message mean, like if somebody buys it, why are they wearing it, why are they proud to show it off and wear it. Then we can get into marketing. So your first question here was what would be some good content ideas for clothing to be able to post on reels and TikTok, so short form content. Is there anything you want to add to that question or is that it?
That's pretty much it. Like, when it comes to like drop shipping regular products, you can just use the product, do a POV video or anything like that. It's pretty simple. But as for clothing, you actually probably have to do something in it to actually, make it pop in
Yeah,
videos.
I mean, definitely, back when I was drop shipping full time and testing products and stuff, I usually stayed away from clothing items and things that, heavily relied on a design or a message to sell. Because I like making ads where it's like, here's the problem you're having. We are the solution, buy it, right? Like it's very easy to justify somebody whipping out their wallet and buying it on the spot because it solves their issue right away. So
True.
creatives for things like shoes, ceiling lights, jewelry, a lot of jewelry out there just, looks nice, doesn't really have a function, clothing, like these types of things are very, very difficult to drop ship primarily because, if you just have a good looking ring, that's all it does. It just looks good. And it's like pretty much you're going to be running same thing with shoes and ceiling lights. You're going to be running image ads and stuff, just showing how good it looks and then get people to buy based on that, which is 100% possible. And that's what I did. I scaled shoes and ceiling lights to millions and millions of dollars just with image ads. Like you don't really need a video showing a pair of shoes unless it's like the indestructible shoes, which I also did those a lot, but those had videos and those also had function outside of just looking cool. So for clothing, you're going to be looking at, image ads is going to be a very, very good channel for you if you're doing paid ads. Because video is going to be like video showing off a shirt, it's gonna have to be more like a video showing off the message. And
Yeah,
then
the
whoever,
lifestyle, I agree.
yeah, like whoever's conveying that message is just wearing the shirt, right? So those are the types of videos that I would create for, paid ads if you're not running images. And then same thing for short form, like focus on the messaging and focus on building the community around the messaging and, making connections and networking in the space. And, that's the best way to build a clothing brand, in my opinion, is either paid ads or organic growth to, some free funnel like a Discord or something where you can cultivate that audience, maybe a newsletter or, something like that, where you're not necessarily pushing upfront sales, but you're going to put in the time and the effort to communicate with your people, get them on the same mission as you. And then just through that, they're naturally going to want to wear the brand because they like what it stands for.
Yeah, that sounds valid.
Yeah. And then for actual content ideas, I would go to other clothing brands with similar messaging, a similar audience, similar messaging to you, and just take ideas from there. Like if you're posting one short, one reel a day, I could help you find, 5 to 10 different styles of videos that are popping right now. Like right now on TikTok, transitions are doing really, really good. So if you took a video of an octopus and then made it transition into your shirt somehow, that's a really good video right now.
Yeah, that would be hard.
Yeah, but like 3 months from now, something completely different is going to be trending on TikTok and that you can use to get organic views and growth for your brand. So you really just have to look at what everybody else is doing, be active on TikTok yourself, like go on TikTok, scroll for like 20, 30 minutes a day, and just see the types of videos that people are posting and they're getting good views. And then literally just take whatever idea or concept is doing well and then make it like tie into your product, your brand, your messaging somehow. And then that's how you make, find content to make.
All right. Yeah, that sounds solid.
Yeah, which is just it's always going to be changing. So just pay attention to what's going on TikTok. And then, if you see that transitions are popping off, then you can just ask yourself, like, how do I make a transition video that like leads into making somebody want to buy my product, right?
Okay.
And then that's how you take like a trend and turn it into a sellable ad, right? You're using a trend to capture the eyeballs and get the hype and get the attention, and then you're kind of like tailoring it to fit your needs of your brand, where it's like you're tailoring it into your product.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, and then by the way, viral ecom ads does not like for clothing and stuff, the best that you're probably gonna get from us is like UGC. So, but like I said, like for shirts and stuff, you're gonna want a UGC creator that understands the messaging, enough to where they can talk about it or make entertaining content about it.
I see.
And just straight up buying UGC probably wouldn't be enough for a clothing brand like this because you're not like having them sell the product. You're gonna need to like show the messaging, the lifestyle, the brand.
Yeah, that's good to know. I was just curious to see what Viral Econ could do towards that.
I mean, you're probably better off making your own content in the beginning just so that you're in full control of everything that's being put out. And then once you start getting really good views on your own, that would be a good time to start hiring creators so that you can kind of give them some guidance on like how to angle the camera and what sounds to use and what trends to do and what type of stuff works for you. But it also depends on your budget.
Yeah, that too. All right.
Yeah. What was the last question?
It should be on the sheet, but I honestly don't even remember.
What's your opinion on my brand idea so far overall?
Oh yeah, the message, the designs, the concept, everything.
I think it's good. Okay, so here's the plan of attack here, at least for what I'm understanding. You're gonna finalize your designs. You're gonna go into print on demand.
Um, I mean, I'll start off with print on demand. I mean, it's still through a manufacturer, but since I brought him money, drop shipping clothes, he's willing to do print on demand for me, while I still get to have the luxury of having custom tags, custom bags, and all that stuff. So they'll get the full brand experience while it's still him printing it on demand.
Okay, that's perfect. So we'll call it print on demand just to keep things easy. So make the designs, do the print on demand, get all of your samples, take your pictures, build your website. So now you have a full website, full product line. Maybe you start with a few shirts or whatever. You have all the samples yourself. What now? What's the next step? Like you're ready to start making sales. What are you doing?
I was probably like you said, post on my Instagram a little bit and then start reaching out to influencers and getting them on my clothes. I do know a few that would be willing to wear my clothes already, so it's kind of like a little head start. And I'll probably try to allocate my audience from my other clothing store onto here to see if that would help at all, to see if they resonate with it at all. Since they're already kind of in the same niche somewhat, straight slash luxury clothing.
Is your supplier in the United States?
Nah, he's not.
Okay. How long are your shipping times going to be?
He says he can get products out within 2 to 3 days, and to deliver to the US, it'll take probably around 8 to 10 days, like not long. From China, I would say, not that long.
Yeah, and he's in China.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that could be temporary because I would say that if you want to build a clothing brand and have this, or not even a clothing brand, but like any brand, and you're ordering from China, like it's fine if you're bulk ordering and you get it to the US and then you sell it and then, 2-day processing and 5-day shipping. But like
That's pretty
that's the absolute max. Like anything longer than that, the people are gonna forget they even bought your shirt by the time it comes in.
Yeah, that's pretty much the goal. I was just gonna I said drop ship. No, I was gonna do print on demand just to like test the concept. And then afterwards, okay, I see this is selling, and then order a bulk and then do it that way.
Yeah.
I was just trying to mitigate the risk up front.
All right. And are you going to start posting content, marketing yourself? Like, how are you going to actually bring in sales? Because reaching out to influencers could be a good strategy, but how much money are you going to put behind the influencers? Or are you just going to send them the shirt?
It'll be dependent on what they're asking, but I already know a few that do have a pretty decent following that are already willing to, make content, post my stuff.
Yeah, that would be good. I mean, if you can get, micro influencers, could perform well if people see their posts and see their designs. Like if you get a story post with a swipe up link, like, just got this shirt, here's what it stands for, something like that, it could do good. Or get like somebody, who's relatively, or somebody who gets like, 10,000 likes or more, like on each Instagram post, if you get them to like make a feed post with your brand and like tag it, you
Yeah,
know?
they're pretty much in that range, if not a little bit more. Like my cousin, for example, he has about like 8 mil on TikTok, about 900K on Instagram. I have another friend, he has about like 800K on Instagram, I think about like 2 mil on TikTok. And they each have friends too. So my outreach will be pretty good, I would say.
Yeah. And are they in the right industry? Like, are they in the, entrepreneurial,
Yeah, yeah, I would say so. Maybe not business wise, like having a store specifically, but they do content creation, which would kind of still fall under the meaning, I would say.
yeah, that's definitely good. So you're gonna get the Instagram rolling so that they can tag you and all that stuff. And then what else? Is that kind of the only thing? Like you're just gonna get your store up, have these people start posting you, and then what now?
I'll be making content, myself to fill up the page, and then if I start to see I'm getting some views, then I'll throw a budget behind it.
Okay, like on
You
your
know,
Instagram Reels and TikTok Shop?
well, I don't know about TikTok Shop. I haven't done too much research on that specifically yet, but yeah, I'll throw a budget behind it, and I'll start to build my email and SMS list. And then after getting a good amount, and then I'll start to do drops by sending out campaigns, which is
Okay.
pretty much how I see other people do it.
I mean, I think it sounds like a solid plan. A lot is riding on, two things. Number one, the influencers posting and that converting, which like I can just tell you from, a clothing brand perspective, just because an influencer wears your clothes doesn't mean it's going to actually convert and get people to buy it.
That's true.
Unless you're talking about like mega influencers, like, you know, celebrity musicians, actors, actors that are popping right now, sports players, like those guys can, definitely they get a lot of eyeballs. So if people see somebody wearing a shirt that's like really cool, they'll start asking about it and stuff. And those are the things that are going to really move the needle, but those can cost like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
Yeah.
I do know a manager that manages a bunch of celebrities, but he does charge a little bag though.
Yeah, he probably charges a big bag.
Yeah,
And for big influencers like that, it's, you almost have to work through managers, which is like, it's a hard game. Like, it's honestly something I haven't done that much, but because I mostly work with micro influencers. Like I've never really worked with like, mega influencers in that aspect, but for micros, you can set up a pretty crazy outreach system to actually, reach out to like 5 to 10 people a day, and offer them like, here's my brand, here's what our message means. We're looking for people to, wear the brand and help us grow and grow this community. And that's what we do for one of my businesses. We reach out to 5 people a day. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but when they're micro influencers, especially if your page is like filled up with content and stuff, and your inbound or outbound message is good, like the script, you can actually get like 1 to 2 responses a day, if people like your messaging and stuff, and that could be a good method. The app I use for the whole CRM system is called Pipedrive.
I see.
So with Pipedrive, it basically allows you to set up a CRM that you can basically have tabs. One tab is like new people, and then outreached, and then responded, and then proposed, like you proposed a deal or you mailed them your product, and then closed, and then posted. And then we track every single influencer's results. And we've put thousands of people through the system. Um, so if you're reaching out to 10 people a day, I mean, we work with probably 50 to 60 people every month, and we only reach out to 5 people a day.
Yeah, it adds up.
Yeah, so it's not like out of the 5 people we reach out to, maybe we close like 5 people a week, right? So it's like 5 out of 30-ish, 5 out of 40 that we actually close. But we've been doing it for so long that now it's like we have, so much follow-up going on, and like it's pretty easy. Once you get the pipe drive system set up, it's easy to keep up with it and follow up with everybody and make sure that every step is accounted for. Otherwise, if you are going to go do micro influencers and that's the strategy, that's the way I would do it. I wouldn't just hit up your friends, and just hope that they promote it and stuff. I would, go the extra mile, outreach to other micro influencers, and really, really take that seriously. Track every step of the process, and that's your game, right? Like you're gonna do that and go hard as fuck for like 6 months, and you're gonna get hundreds of people. You're gonna send out your shirt to hundreds of people and have them post pictures with it, shout you out on their stories. Maybe they'll film a YouTube video with it. Whatever it is that you work out, and your marketing spend is going to be the shirt and the shipping to send it to the influencer, and also the time you spend on outreach and stuff. And that could be a legit way to grow a business. You just have to do it for like 3 to 6 months, I would say, and go really, really hard. You should at least hire, 50 to 100 of these micro influencers before you make a judgment on how it's going to perform.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, because, you reach out to a few of your buddies and stuff, and who knows what's going to happen. But if you control the whole process and you're doing outreach every single day, and you're getting your own deals like outside of your personal network, and you get the people from inside of your personal network, like that could be a replicable system. Because even if your friend did post and it worked out really well, like how are you going to compensate him a year from now, 2 years from now to continue posting you? And also, how are you going to scale? Right? Like you can't scale to, $1,000 a day, $5,000 a day with one influencer that you knew from high school, right?
True.
You need something replicable, like something that you can go out and force the growth of, which is what the influencer system would allow you to do.
No, that sounds good.
Yeah. And then for organic posting, I mean, that's the other problem with, or the other variable slash, potential problem is like organic posting is so unpredictable. And it's like you can make a post, get 100 views one day, and then the next post you do is like even better in your opinion. And you could get, no views at all. And then you can make a terrible video where you post it and you're like, ah, fuck it. Like, I'm not even confident in this video. I'm just going to post it
It
to put
blows up.
something up, and then it blows up. Like it's really, really like that. And we do use organic for TikTok Shop for one of my ecom brands. And we are going very hard in that. We're putting a lot of chips on the table, with paying creators and paying people to post and stuff. But it's like super unpredictable. Um, and it's like the same thing as like just kind of, giving the product to a few brands and hoping, or a few influencers and hoping that they post and you make sales and stuff. Like organic doesn't give you a whole lot of control, with how many views you get and how good it converts. And you can't even do TikTok Shop because you need like a maximum of 2 day processing time, meaning it has to be shipped with tracking in 2 days, and a max shipping time is 7 days, I believe. And you can't like, dude, you can't do it shipping from China. I've already tried. I've seen people try. They always get shut down eventually, due to a high processing rate or, late deliveries, like these types of things.
Yeah, I did hear about that, so that's one reason why I didn't look too much into it yet.
So
I,
if you could get on TikTok Shop, I would immediately say like, yeah, you need to go hard as fuck with organic because that, in my opinion, is like the best way to do organic right now is with TikTok Shop, but you can't
is
get
it?
on TikTok Shop.
Yeah. And is doesn't TikTok Shop basically when you tag your product in your videos, they push out your videos more on TikTok?
From my experience, yeah, but not all the time.
I see.
Yeah. I mean, there's enough people doing it now that they don't really have to do that. But in the beginning, it was really crazy. Like, whenever you post a video on TikTok, you're pretty much guaranteed like 100 views, couple hundred views. But if you did it with a TikTok shop link on it, you're pretty much guaranteed like 3,000 views in the beginning. So it was really crazy. But now it's starting to stabilize. Like we have videos with a TikTok shop link in it, get 300 views now. We didn't see that earlier this year. So I think that there's so many people on TikTok shop now that they kind of stopped boosting the videos a little bit. Like I guess it still happens, but there I mean it's definitely more likely to go viral. I'll say that.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, but dude, influencers, micro influencers, and the way that I just explained it with that app, keep track of like every step, who's at what step and keep on progressing them forward. And if you reach out to somebody 3 times and they're still not responding, I usually just ditch that person and replace them with a new one, and just reach out to 5 people a day. And if they respond, build those relationships. Like when you're building a real brand, you're trying to build something long term, and you're not just cash grabbing. Relationships, relationships, relationships. That's like the most important thing, and that's relationships with your customers, your employees, your influencers, like the people that talk about you to large audiences, which could also be your customers, right? Your customers are some of your biggest influencers, right?
Yeah.
It's all relationships. It's a whole game of relationships because people are what push things forward, and that's why influencers is like my favorite way to grow a business is because I built a great network with influencers in the e-com space, and that massively benefits me, or that massively benefits my business, right? Like you came to my event in Florida, there were like tons of, e-com influencers there,
Yeah, there
you
were.
know, and that event helped us because we got in the same room as those influencers. We got them connecting with each other. We provided a ton of value, provided an experience. So, next time we go to reach out to them to work with us, they're down, right? So like that's viral ecom ads is like my real brand, and that's something I always took seriously. So and we also grew that business with influencers. So like it's the same thing that you're coming to me with. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, that sounds solid.
So here's what we'll do. I would love to see you do the micro influencer system. You don't really need to pay money to influencers, but especially if they really mess with your brand, you can explain to them like, yo, we just started out. We don't have a huge budget. I mean, I'm happy to send you a shirt, a couple shirts, whatever. If you need payment, let me know how much, and maybe we can work together in the future. Like if you come from a very like genuine, I'm a young hustler, don't have funding, never took investors. Like if you come from that angle, you don't really need a budget to do it. Because people will see the messaging, and if they like the messaging and they like the design, they might just be like, yeah, fuck it, send me a shirt, I'll post it up.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I'll do. So let's do this. So whenever you get your brand up and your website launched, send it over to me. I'm happy to review it and make sure that the site is decent. It doesn't like don't go too crazy on it. It doesn't have to be really anything special. Just make sure the messaging is clear. And just use a Shopify like theme, keep everything super simple and sleek.
Mhm.
And I'll be happy to review it. And then if you need help, using Pipedrive and setting up the CRM for the influencers, then let me know, and I'm happy to show you more of what we do as well. But is there anything else that you wanted to cover on this?
No, not really. I believe that's everything.
Cool. Yep, it was good catching up with you, bro.
Yeah,
And
you too, bro.
Dude, good luck. I like this brand. I love, seeing my boy grow unemployable. Like that shit was one of my favorite clothing brands ever. And it seems like you're on the same kind of path with the messaging and stuff, because that was kind of their messaging as well. But yeah, relationships, bro. It's number one, and micro influencers build a bunch of good relations in the industry, build a bunch of good relations with potential customers. Get on calls with them, meet people, because another reason I bought from Unemployable is because I was friends with the owner,
I see.
and I'm pretty sure I was his top customer.
Very really. Dang.
Yeah, and we were mostly just internet friends, but either way, relationships, bro. Like, don't go with the drop shipping mindset of like, oh, I'm gonna build a sexy ad and somebody's gonna see it and just buy it right away, because that's not really how these types of things work. You're gonna have to build relationships with people either digitally or one on one. And if you want the longevity, one on one is the way with the influencers and with the customers.
I see. Wouldn't you also say that building a personal brand will help with that too? Or
Yeah, building a personal brand helps with everything. Like if I launched a clothing brand with a similar messaging to this, I'd probably do pretty well out the gate, because I've already been building an audience with, entrepreneurs for years. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I mean, that's part of the creating content, like, but you want to be that guy. Like if you're gonna go that angle, then you gotta really, really live and breathe what your brand stands for.
I see.
So if you're telling people like, oh, we don't believe in school and we this and that, but then you're on your content talking about how you're in school, it's not going to resonate, right?
Yeah, no, that would be crazy. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. It's like if like you're talking about, being unemployable, but then people find out that you have a job. It's like what? Like,
No, that would be crazy. You get exposed.
yeah, but like if your brand is unemployable and then you go on the video and you're like, yeah, I'm like, you can't hire me. I've never even had a job. I've always been against it ever since I was 15, right? Like you're just extreme living and breathing the message of the brand, then it's a good strategy to build a personal brand around it. Yeah. All right. Well, the call's about to end, but it was good talking to you, bro. And hopefully we can pull some takeaways out of this for the videos, and hopefully it helped you as well.
No, I did for sure. For sure, for sure.
All right. Cool, bro.
All right.
All right, bet. Talk to you soon. Let me know if you need anything.
All right, bro. Appreciate
All
you.
right. See ya.
Peace.